Introducing Dion Joseph of the Los Angeles Police Department, Cosmo Lubrano, a former member of the NYPD, and Michael Salger, president of Michigan Fraternal Order of Police. And gentlemen, welcome to our discussion today. We're going to cross-sample what's happening across America. What do you think about it, okay? Before we do that, I want to play a clip from yesterday's briefing. Our reporter, Peter Doocy, is asking the White House press secretary about police morale. Here's how that went.
You just said again, you guys want to keep cops on the beat, but there are reports that big cities are having a very difficult time recruiting officers right now, and there are many other reports that morale is at an all-time low in big police departments. So why does the president think that there's low morale with police officers on the beat?
I don't think we're the right entity to give an assessment of that. I'd certainly look to the police departments to give that assessment.
And that brings us to Dion Joseph in Los Angeles. How would you assess the morale among officers in America, or your city specifically?
Well, I think the morale is extremely low because this whole movement, this anti-police movement, has gone beyond police reform, and now it's devolved into punishing 800,000 men and women who chose the profession of law enforcement to keep people safe in cities across this country. And it's unfortunate because when you vilify police to such an extent, the police feel like you're in a darned if you do, darned if you don't environment. And I know most police officers, including myself, we got up to save lives, not have our hands tied and watch people become victimized. They want us to fight crime based on America's history now. You know, they want to focus on the negative of America's history. I can't stop a rape in historical context. I have to figure out how to stop a woman from getting raped in a tent right now. I can't stop drug dealers from selling drugs in front of a drug program or a shelter or a low-income supportive housing unit where people are trying to recover based on historical context. So when you tie our hands, create a narrative that causes police officers, not just symbolically, literally, it just keeps us from doing the job that's needed to be done to protect the very people that this movement says they want to keep safe, and that's people of color.
Yeah, big city, Los Angeles, from one to the other now, on the East Coast in New York, to Cosmo Lubrano. The White House and the Department of Justice have said over the last day and again today that illegal guns will be their target. Is that where you should start?
How are they getting them off the street? You've castrated police departments across the country. In New York, there's no more anti-crime. Anti-crime was a tremendous unit that took many guns off the street. Stop, question, and frisk is a thing of the past. I mean, stop, question, and frisk was another valuable tool that took guns off the street. And then the cherry on top is you're not prosecuting anybody, so people are getting arrested for crimes. They're out the next day. I mean, there's no fear out there. The police departments, unfortunately, can't do their jobs like they used to, don't want to do their jobs like they used to do them, and that's unfortunately the situation. So it's great, you want to get guns off the street. How are you doing it?
Michael Salger, what is your view from Michigan on that?
I would agree 100%. I think it's a combination of everything with getting the illegal guns off the street. How do we do it when you're defunding the police? You're tying the hands of everything, of everyone. We need to work together. Law enforcement, prosecutors, district attorneys, legislators, and most importantly, the communities we serve. We need to work together to get these the guns off the street, and that starts with funding the police.
Dion, we have looked at retirements and resignations and really new recruits, and the numbers are startling. I don't know if you have this in your head at the moment, but here's what we found compared to last year. Retirements are up 45%. Resignations are up 18%, and the new hires are down 5%. Now, why is that happening in your community?
Well, primarily because not just people and an anti-police movement, but now we have politicians across the country who have bought into that same narrative. When you hear our politicians, repeating the same rhetoric as extreme activists, now you're in trouble. So the whole vibe that we face is, if we don't even have support from elected officials who are supposed to be responsible enough to say, hey, look, I know some things need to change, some things need to evolve, but we're not going to sacrifice the safety of our cops or the people that they serve. When we don't have that anymore, there could be some trepidation with not just signing up officers. Let me give you an example. One of the biggest tenements that a lot of our detractors say is, why don't you guys hire a lot of people of color? And this is across the country. Well, what person of color would want to do this job when you engage in such a high level of demagoguery against police officers? Who would want that smoke, as we say in the community that I serve? And when you hear it from our politicians, it's disheartening. And once again, it's just a catch-22. Mm-hmm. Any move you make gets considered racist, or you know, and it's wrong. It's wrong, and it's hurting everybody.
Well, I have a minute left, and I want to get back to New York and Michigan as well. Cosmo, what is the explanation here in New York for what you do in order to make the profession still attractive?
Well, one of the scary things is you have a person running for mayor who wants to actually take guns away from police officers. I mean, honestly, if you put your time in and you're eligible to retire, I can't imagine why you would stay. There's plenty of work out there for people to stay on a job where everywhere you go, you're uncomfortable. I can't imagine walking into my job and having everybody look at me like, why is this person here? I don't want him here. And then, you know, like Leon said, politicians don't have your back. Nobody has your back. If you made your time, you leave. I think the scarier stat is how many cops are resigning before they're even eligible for retirement. That really shows how far this profession has fallen and how undesirable it is.
Yeah. Interesting point. Michael, wrap it up for us. Go ahead.
Absolutely. It's simple. Michigan, since 9/11, we're down 4,000 police officers. We're no different than everywhere else. It's nearly 20% decrease in officers. And to put a simple thing on it, fund the police, prosecute the criminals, support the police, and don't let the media or social media get in the way of the facts of an incident involving the police.
Wow, there was a time, huh? Dion Joseph in LA, Cosmo Librano in New York, Michael Salger from Michigan. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck. We will check in with all of you again very soon.